Okay. Let's see here. Testing, 1, 2, 3. Want to make sure everything's working here. Everything looks all right so far. Let's just expand this out so I can see it. There we go. Let's just... One, two, testes, 1, 2, 3. All right, there we go. And now we just wait for people to show up. Just wait for people to show up. Nick Neal. Hello, sir. Just waiting for people to show up. We'll be starting officially in 4 minutes. Yes. I downloaded No More Heroes 1 and 2. Great games. Can't wait for... I never got into that series. I don't know why. I just never got into it. Maybe it was the fact that you had to jerk off your lightsaber to charge it. I don't know. Ultra Steel. There you are, sir. There you are. Back home. Back home. We'll see how it goes. We shall see how it goes. We'll be getting going here in about 3 minutes. 3 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Did you play Crash? Which Crash? There's lots of crashes out there. You got to be more specific. How's my day been? Slow. I just sat and watched Titans on HBO all day. Crash 4. No, I have not played Crash 4. I don't have the money to play Crash 4. I'm too busy trying to pick up a PS5 and a Polymega and the rest of 8's Christmas and all that kind of stuff. I can't buy games for myself right now. Plus, I need to finish capturing footage for Mafia Definitive Edition or whatever. Still got a good ways to go left on that game. Yes, indeed. Hello, Broken Louie. Stream is back on YouTube. Yes, it is. It cut my audience in half, and the half that was left didn't like it. So what you gonna do? People were complaining about me being on Twitch. The ones that actually followed me to Twitch. And the rest of the audience just vanished. So the great experiment that I was encouraged to do didn't work, so I'm back here. And I will keep my Twitch channel for when I eventually have the equipment for streaming retro gameplay, and I'll do my retro streams on Twitch. I'll do the 7thCast on here. Since hardly anybody, when I was doing it on YouTube, watched it, so why the hell not? We'll be going live in another minute here. Oh, I tell you. I tell you. Thank you, Clean Frame. Appreciate it. It was an interesting experience and experiment, but it just didn't work. No, I haven't watched it yet, Ultra Steel. I haven't gotten around to it. I'll watch it eventually. I just haven't gotten around to it. And with that being said, it is Saturday. It is 6 o'clock, November 7th, 2020, and this is the 7thCast. As always, I'm your venerable host, your friendly neighborhood 7th. 8th is off doing whatever 8th is doing, probably playing a video game, I don't know. So, I don't have it in here with me, but I received my Dualsense this week, and 8th has used it a little bit on PC. I was able to sync it to a few things and play around with it. It's interesting. It has some real heft to it. There's some actual weight to this thing. It feels sturdier than the DualShock 4. The DualShock 4 has some give to it. If you're holding it like this, you can twist it this way. The DualSense is just a brick. It don't move. It don't budge. There's not a whole lot of give in that plastic. Hi, Nicholas Little. Hello, Golden Knight. So, I'm liking it so far, but of course, I can't give a good review of the controller until the PS5 gets here. So I'm still waiting on that. Still waiting on the Polymega. The Polymega is supposed to ship right around the same time that the PS5 does. We shall see, considering the fact of how silent the Polymega Twitter channel is, and how they're not really trying to boost any excitement for the launch on their website. It makes me question whether it's actually going to come out this month or not. We shall see. I feel like they're going to delay it again, which sucks, but it is what it is. Let's see. What else have I been up to this week? For those of you who didn't catch it for whatever reason, because I know a lot of you have been having issues with my videos not showing up in your notifications, I posted a new song on Halloween night. The first song that I've done since the new intro all the way back in 2012 or 13. Somewhere around in there. So it's been 7 to 8 years since I've actually, performed and recorded guitar, mixed it, and just as long as I've done vocals. The last time I did vocals was for a karaoke cover of a Green Day song back in around 2014 or so. So if you haven't been receiving notifications about new stuff that I do, it's the newest video posted on my channel. It's called Smiling Jack. It was done for Halloween, so you might want to go give that a try, especially if you've never heard any of my old band stuff. Way back in the early days of my channel, I used to occasionally post some old band demos that my band used for preparing to learn a song. Because when my band was going to learn a new song, I would create it on a computer and play it for them, so everyone would know, what they were supposed to be doing and everything, and give them kind of a good idea of what the song was supposed to sound like. And I still have a bunch of them, and so I posted a lot of them back in the early days of YouTube, but they're all gone now. But if any of you remember hearing those, you might want to check out the new song, Smiling Jack. You might just like it. Now, that being said, those were the only topics I really had to cover. Not a whole lot there, so we can get started with the usual Q&A goodness that we do every week that I'm actually doing this. Let me see here. Let's see. Howdy 7th. I will say that I'll get a PS5 eventually over an Xbox. It is very, very disappointing that there are some features that are missing from it at launch, features that should be obvious. It's kind of that way every time a PlayStation system comes out, as far as ones that can be updated over the internet from the PS3 forward. There's always some little thing that's missing that we have to wait to show up. Like, for example, trophies. Trophies didn't show up until like a year after the PS3 launched. Let's see here. I don't give a crap about the election, so yeah, you guys know I don't give a crap about politics. I don't talk politics, so keep it off my chat. Thank you. Good to see you. Yeah, I'm glad to be back. Hi, Ben. Hi, Joey. Let's see. Hello, comment guy number 8. Let's see here. Hello, Terry. Hello, Shadow Deist. Hello, Smithy. Do you think a museum of video game consoles and gaming history would be a good idea? There's several that already exist, Ultra Steel, including a display at the Smithsonian. But there's also dedicated museums already to video games and video game consoles and history. I think there's actually one here in Texas, or is it New Mexico? I can't remember. I'd have to look it up. Let's see here. You could have told us the streams were moving back. I was waiting on Twitch. I mentioned it last week, and I mentioned it on Twitter. If you don't follow me on Twitter, that's not my fault. Last time I checked on this channel was when 7th made his review of the Xbox One. Dude, that was in 2013. You haven't been watching my channel for 7 years? Really? I have been playing American Euro Truck Simulator trying to beat Doom Eternal on Ultra Nightmare. Fun. Let's see here. GameStop called, said only people that pre-ordered gets a PS5 on launch at local, and I'm in Wave 2. I'm good. Well, Sony had announced that no retailers would be selling them in store on launch day because they're trying to avoid anyone potentially catching the coof by going to pick one up in store. So, there will be additional consoles available on launch day, but you have to buy them online from the website. Yay. Did you or 8th play Final Fantasy VII Remake? Yeah, I beat it. 8th beat it too. Hi, Chris G. Let's see. IGN and GameSpot reviewed the PS5 and Xbox Series X. How is that possible when they haven't come out yet? Because they were sent review units of the console. Big YouTube channels and big conglomerates like IGN and whatnot, they get consoles for free to review them. I heard that external hard drive support isn't available at PS5 for launch. I mean, really? I never used it anyway. I've never used external hard drive storage for anything other than exporting footage to a USB drive. So that's going to be an interesting thing, is that, how am I going to review any new games for the channel if I can't export the footage to a drive? Maybe it'll support it for storing footage, but it doesn't support it for storing games. I don't know. I'll have to look into it. What do you think of the Xbox Series X coming out with no exclusive games? I'm not surprised. Have you ever played Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze? Yes, I played it when it came out on the Wii. It's a good platformer. That's about it. What are your thoughts of Boba Fett getting a TV series? Well, I hadn't heard about him getting his own series. I know that he's basically back from the dead on The Mandalorian. $10 from Enemy TV. Welcome back. Twitch was so. Appreciate the $10, Enemy TV. I appreciate it. I will remind everybody that if you use the gray button with the $sign on it, that money doesn't show up for a month and YouTube keeps 30% of it. If you want me to get all of it and get it the same night, you use this link up here. If you're not able to use this link up here, then that's fine. I appreciate it. And for some reason, the super chats are now not showing up on my little meter anymore again. So I'll have to fix that too. Forgot to do that. Everyone had gotten so used to using this link. That's the first time I've gotten a super chat since I moved to Twitch. But I appreciate it, Enemy TV. Thank you. Thank you, sir, for your technically $7, but it's the thought that counts, man. You rock. Let's see here. Thoughts on Rising Zen, the samurai gun? I never played that. That's one that I never played. Will you do a DMC5 special edition review? Probably not, because I don't intend to buy it. I'm just going to keep my PS4 version. Have you ever been to Colorado? No, I've always wanted to go, but The opportunities just never presented itself. Do you like David Tennant, Doctor Who, Good Omens character? I've liked David Tennant in some of the stuff that I've seen him in. Yeah, he's an interesting actor. Hello, Evil Otaku. How's it going? Did you see the newest Best of Both Worlds? No, it didn't show up in my subscriber feed. I'll have to go watch it. Raymond Thicklin. Nice, you're back. Thank you, sir. Technically, I never left. I was still, on Twitch. You could have come watched me there, but that's okay. Do you think a Men in Black TV series could work? Well, they tried it with animation and it didn't exactly go over great. A live action might work. So you get $7 in a month. Yes, that's correct. I am personally, that's fine. Even I would just get a 2 terabyte SSD for it. It's just a damn shame the price when you combine. Yeah, I know. Thoughts on Yakuza Like a Dragon? I don't care for the gameplay change. What do you think? Well, it's not supposed to be like a pure Yakuza game. It's a side story RPG. So it's kind of turn-based like an RPG. And I like turn-based RPGs, so I'll probably like it once it hits PS5. I'm not buying it for Xbox Series X whenever I happen to get one of those. Are you going to post the 7thCast videos to your channel again? It does that automatically. I'm happy that Toby will be in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. It's been confirmed. Oh, really? Good to hear. Wait a minute. Magic powers. Control was a great game. What'd you think? I haven't actually played it yet. Eighth, when it came out, Eighth decided he wanted it on PC instead of console, and so I haven't played it. He's the only one that's played it because we never bought it on PS4. What's your opinion on the Souls genre? What's your opinion on Neo 2? And so, well, I'm not a huge fan of them simply because I just don't have the time to get into them. I've beaten Bloodborne and what have you, but they're just not really my cup of tea. I know how to play them, but they're just kind of slow and tedious, and I like to move through things a little bit faster. And yes, I know they can be speed. I've watched Eighth do a speed run on several. So, I haven't played Neo 2. If you wanted to know about Souls-likes, Eighth's the one you want to ask. Do you think Lucasfilm will step their game up in 2021? Well, I certainly hope so. Should you keep electronics on the charger to keep the battery from depreciating? Well, there are some that say that will depreciate it just as bad as not regularly charging it. So it's kind of a give and take, and it also depends on the kind of battery it is. Would you wait on Xbox for a couple of years? Probably not. I will probably get one sometime next year. Wait a minute. Oh, magic powers. Ooh, that one burnt a little bit. Did you ever skateboard? Yes. Snowboard? No. I was a skater back in the 86 to 89 range when that was popular in high school. You had the Bones Brigade and Tony Hawk and all that going on. So I had the floppy bang bowl cut, and my airwalks and all that big gun board. I had a Nodus Copus board. Yeah, I had all that shit. Seventh, do you think the Mandalorian will save the Star Wars franchise? Well, it'll keep it from dying. I don't know if it'll bring it back to what it was, but it'll at least keep it alive. I've been thinking about changing my name to Dartarius, like on other media platforms. Do you think I should? Well, if this is the only one where you're using Evil Otaku, then yeah, I would change it. So everything lines up. Who do you prefer, Voldemort or Darth Vader? Darth Vader. What games are you going to get on PS5? I've only pre-ordered 2 so far, and that's Demon Souls and Miles Morales. Eighth wants me to pre-order Sackboy, but I'm waiting a little bit because I got to wait for my next check to come in before I can buy anything else. What's better, Switch or Wii? I would say Switch, but then again, I haven't played either one. I haven't played Wii since they stopped making games for it. And Switch, I've barely played because 8th confiscated it the day after I bought it. So I got to play, Mario Odyssey, and I've got to play little bits and pieces of things here and there. but for the most part, it's his console pretty much. I had intended to buy myself a Switch Lite, and then all this shit happened and you couldn't find them anywhere. So, is what it is. Let's see. Is there a game that you love but can't beat because of how difficult it is? None spring to mind. I can't really think of any off the top of my head. I can't remember whether I ever finally managed to beat Mike Tyson. If that tells, I honestly can't remember if I was able to do it or not. I know I can remember getting to him, but I can't remember if I actually beat him or not. So there's closest to an answer I can give you. Who do you like better, Darth Maul or Boba Fett? Darth Maul. He had a better death scene. Do you think woke will go away from movies and games now? No. Will you be doing a DBTS for the Series S? No, because I didn't buy one, and I'm not going to buy one. I always buy the most powerful version of a console available. So I will be buying the Series X when I have $500 to spend on one and they're actually available. I don't have $500 to spend on one. Probably won't have it until the earliest when I get my tax return, somewhere around the end of February. So it's going to be a while before, by the time, it's not the same as 2013. In 2013, I was able to pre-order and buy everything. I had the Wii U, I had the PS4, I had the Xbox One. By the time I'm able to do a review of the Xbox Series X, no one's going to give a shit about what I think of it. So, it's not, when I finally do one, it's not going to hit like 1 million plus views like the one for Xbox One did. Those days are over. Do you have your magic powers right when I'm eating? Great timing. Sorry, it happens when it happens, man. I can't do nothing about that. Thoughts on Devil May Cry 5? I haven't finished it. I got far enough to where it switched to the guy who has the spirit animals or whatever, and I just didn't like playing as him, and I lost interest in it and never came back to it. Which is better, Cola or Pepsi? I prefer Pepsi, but both are good. Do you like the Resident Evil games? Not especially. Never was big on survival horror games. I liked Dead Space okay, but I've for whatever reason, I've just never really gotten into Resident Evil. What's worse, the Wii U or the PS Vita? The Wii U, as far as I'm concerned. I played my Vita all the time. I barely played Wii U. Have you seen the Kotaku PS5 review? No, I haven't. What do you think Ubisoft should do to make Assassin's Creed great again? They should go back and play Assassin's Creed 2. They should go back and play Assassin's Creed 2 and Assassin's Creed Syndicate and Assassin's Creed 1 and say to themselves, oh yeah, now I remember when the series was good. We should make it more like this. That's what they should do. I'm surprised you're still playing video games given how next-gen games are now costing $70, which is BS in my opinion. I'm surprised that they didn't go to $70 this gen. Because, when the PS3 came out, it's when they went up to $59. So I just figured when the PS4 and the Xbox One came out, they would jump to $69. And when they didn't, I was rather surprised. So, and considering how many of you have bought games like Call of Duty and then bought all these expansion packs and DLCs and all this crap, you've been a lot of you on average have been spending more than $70 per game anyway. Never mind the fact that back in the 80s and 90s, I was spending sometimes more than that on a game. It cost me $100 to buy Phantasy Star 4. It cost me $100 to buy Virtual Racing. There were regularly games on Super Nintendo that were $70 and up. There were games that were $70 and up when the Genesis first came out. So this is nothing new. It's just now it's even easier for me to afford $70 on a game than it was when I was a teenager. Hello, video game lover. Finally got my SNES to play Japanese games. Well, if my Polymega ever gets here, that won't be a problem because it plays both SNES and Super Famicom games. Are you into comic books? I was as a teenager, not so much now. I haven't read comic books since the 90s. What's the last time you remember having buyer's remorse? For a video game? Halo 5. Favorite Royal Rumble match? Can't really say I remember, to be honest with you. Do you think a Shining video game could work? No. There's too many moments in the plot of The Shining where nothing is happening. So you'd either have to ruin the plot to extend the gameplay or have shitty gameplay to maintain the plot. Assassin's Creed 1 plays fine. Assassin's Creed 2 played better, but Assassin's Creed 1 was fine. I thoroughly enjoyed that game. Thoughts on Game Pass? I don't think too much of it. I have experience with it. I have an Xbox Ultimate account. So I've played it, and I guess it's nice to be able to, spend 5 minutes playing a game that I had no intention of purchasing anyway. Do you think, let's see here. What do you think of people leaving California? I'm not exactly surprised by it. A lot of them are coming here to Texas. Do you think The Last of Us TV show will be good? I kind of doubt it. Who's more evil, Microsoft or GameStop? Well, they're kind of, sort of, but not quite the same thing now, aren't they? Is it night or day over there? It's night. Sun is gone. We're in daylight savings, and so, we've gained that hour back, so, it gets dark sooner here now. So it's dark outside. Are the evenings warm over there? I have no idea. I'm in self-quarantine. I don't leave my house. I don't go outside unless I absolutely have to. I go outside once a week in the mornings to start my car and run my car for a little bit so the battery doesn't die since I'm not driving anywhere. I've been working from home since March 3rd. I've only been out of the house to go somewhere a couple of times. I ordered steak dinner from a place and picked that up one weekend. I got my car inspected so I could get my tag updated. And what else did I do? My nose is peeling, which is weird since I haven't gotten any sun. So I don't know what's going on there, but my nose is peeling. That's weird. See that right there? There's skin peeling off my nose. I have no idea why. Anyway, I just haven't, I haven't had much reason to go out, so I don't go out. So I have no idea I would say that it's probably not super cold out there because this is Texas. Let's see here. What's the most money you've ever spent buying a single video game? $200, but I can't remember what game it was. It was an old one. It was a collectible. But I can't remember which one it was. It was one I wanted really bad. Tokes64, the motherfucking 7th level. What's up, homie? What's up, Tokes? Hey, Tokes, if you're still there, sorry, I'm trying to catch up to so many people asking questions. If you're still there, I know you're into that horror rap. Well, go to my channel and click on the video called Smilin' Jack, and you'll hear some horror punk rock, courtesy of yours truly. Hey, 7th, did you come across the article discussing a PS5 overheating at a Best Buy kiosk? Well, of course it overheated. They had it encased in plastic. That was a common thing with those. I'm surprised they still had it in that kind of a kiosk. That's been kind of a common thing with putting a game system in a plastic encased kiosk like that. When I worked at Circuit City, that kind of crap happened all the time. We were constantly having to put new consoles in those things. Nice hat. This is an old hat I got for free. It came attached to a t-shirt at Walmart. You got a lot of people in here tonight. Well, I guess so. I guess that fixed that. I don't have a question. Just so happy this is back on YouTube. Thanks for visiting, Vincent. That's also, I should remind everybody, this is a 3-hour podcast. It runs from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Central. That is extended by donation. If we get a total of 50, I stay till 10. If we get a total of 75, I stay till 11. Anything 100 and up, I stay till midnight. Midnight is my limit. 6 hours is as much I'm willing to do in one sitting. We've had $10, so we're $40 away from the 10 p.m. 4-hour goal. Let's see here. Why don't you live stream games on a semi-regular basis on Twitch? I intend to do that as soon as I get my Polymega. I think I know the answer, but since we're coming to the end of the 8th generation, what was your game of the generation? God of War. Which is scarier, The Shining or Children of the Corn? The Shining. Hello, Master Chief. Thoughts on saving money? It's important. You should always save money because you never know when you're going to need it. Like if you blow a tire and you need a couple $100 for a replacement tire because you went and bought wheels for your car that you can only get $200+ tires for. So always have some money saved back. People who live in New York too. Yep. Welcome back to YouTube. Thank you. What was your favorite DCEU movie? Aquaman. Thoughts on the Game Boy Color? I like the Game Boy Color. I have the Game Boy Color. Game Boy Advance was better, though. You should at least take a walk every once in a while. Jeez, man. Well, your thoughts on the PS5? Well, I've pre-ordered one, so I am looking forward to it. Do you think Halo Infinite will be dog shit? Well, considering that they can't hold on to a director and it's called Halo Infinite instead of Halo 6, which would imply it's going to be a games as a service type online multiplayer experience, yes, I think it will be dog shit. Do you think the movie, what do you think, do you like the movie The Marine with John Cena? You know what? I've never seen it all the way through. Is Ubisoft going through their own Sega or Capcom phase? Maybe 10 to 15 years in the future generations will pick up the torch and make it great again. I don't know, man. I don't know. I can't remember the last time I played a game from Ubisoft that I actually liked. Did you like the Stepfather films? I liked the first one, okay. The rest, not so much. Are you done taking advice from Screenwave? Well, I know they were trying to help. It's just in my particular situation, it didn't work. And I mean, there are channels that get plenty of views that stream multiple times a week on their YouTube channel. So I don't really understand why that was the reason why my videos weren't getting views. It didn't make sense to me. But, all I did know was it cut the 7thCast audience in half. And I just couldn't, I couldn't deal with it anymore, especially when the half that did follow me over to Twitch didn't like being on Twitch. So, if having the 7thCast on this channel means I have crap views on my videos, so be it. How do you feel about Microsoft purchasing Bethesda? Well, you get what you pay for. You came back to YouTube. Now you have almost 50 viewers instead of 18. I wonder why. Yeah, no shit. Nice, bro. Hell yeah, I'll check it out. Yeah, Tokes, check it out. It took me 3 weeks to make it, and it's all me. I programmed the drums, programmed the bass, all the vocals are me, and all the guitar is me. I used Reaper, so it's all mixed within Reaper, and the only plugins I used was a drum kit plugin and a bass guitar plugin. Everything else was in-house Reaper, the stuff that comes free with Reaper. So just check it out and let me know what you think. Let's see here. Is it 6 p.m. over there? It is 6:30 over here. Did they ever find the smiley face killer? I don't know. Are you excited for the new Spider-Man for the PS5? About as much as I was excited for the first one. Here is a 1+ like from me to you. Thank you. How come you're on here and not on Twitch? Because everyone hated me being on Twitch. What's better, Nightbreed or Hellraiser? I like Nightbreed. You know, Hellraiser might be a better movie. But for me, Nightbreed was like Clive Barker's X-Men. And I really liked the book that it was based on, Cabal. Unfortunately, Halo Infinite won't have a Battle Royale mode. Damn, 7th, you're getting a lot of good questions. Do you agree? Yeah, it's a lot more active in here than it's been on Twitch. Not that I didn't appreciate the questions I was getting on Twitch, but dang. It was kind of like a ghost town from day one, and it just never got any better. Is the Order 1886 the most disappointing game of the generation? As far as a game that had potential, yes. I liked the Order 1886. It just needed to be... The campaign needed to have 3 more hours of gameplay at least, and it needed different boss fights instead of having the same werewolf fight over and over and over again. Have you noticed that you have more subscribers than Black Baron? Your channel's not dead. Well, view-wise, my channel is dead. And as far as subscribers, it's pretty dead too because it hasn't gone up in 3 years. You know, I'll gain 5 subscribers, and then the next day I'll lose 5 subscribers. It's the weirdest thing. For every subscriber I gain, 1 will drop off my channel. I don't understand it. That donation meter above your head, I don't think so. Someone donated and it hasn't gone up. That's because someone donated via a super chat instead of donating to the Streamlabs link. Remember, I just moved back over to YouTube, so this doesn't detect the super chats, which is a YouTube function. I have to fix that. For right now, it only recognizes the donations to the Streamlab link, which is the one where if you donate it, I get all of it and I get it same day. When you use the gray button with the $ on it, I get 70% of it and I have to wait a month to get that. Which reminds me, you know, Enemy did donate $10, and since the notification isn't working, I owe him a $1 bill. There you go. You get a $1 bill. Thanks, sir. I can finally delete the Twitch app from my phone. Thoughts on Shadow of War? I never really got that big into Shadow of War because 8th played it before me, and he kind of warned me ahead of time that there was a whole lot of microtransaction bullshit in it and that it was extremely grindy, and it was going to be one where it would take me that it wasn't a hard game, but it would take me forever to get the plat, blah, blah, blah. And so I just kind of got out of it. From Toke 64, I was born in Fort Worth, Texas, came to LA at age 10. Texas is my love, my home. Well, I'm not originally from Texas, Tokes, but I'm here now. So I'm actually closer to you now than I was many, many years ago when you and your cousin threatened to kill me. And let me tell you something, Tokes, that has become a moment of legend. To this day, I get people asking me, hey, 7th, do you remember when Tokes and his cousin threatened to kill you? I get that all the time, man. I get people asking me if I have a link to that video where you and your cousin went off on me. The people still remember that now, years and years and years later. And the videos that you were replying to don't even exist anymore. I took all that off. So those videos aren't even there anymore, but people still remember when you came at me that time. It's classic. It's like a moment frozen in YouTube crumb-side history. Best final boss music you've ever heard. Oh, shit. Probably something in a Final Fantasy game. Thoughts on the Shantae series? They're okay. You know, they're not must-have plays for me. They're decent platformers. Is that the same Tokes that said you were in a biker game? Well, he never said I was in a biker gang. He said for me to get on my Harley and make that vroom vroom, get that nice vibration that you like so much between your legs, or some shit like that. I can't remember. I never actually owned a motorcycle, but I was in, I used to be a front man for a punk band. So like any other guy that's ever been in a punk rock band, I had a black leather cycle jacket. And I wore it a couple of times in some old videos. And so, Tokes assumed that I was a biker. But, I've never been a biker. I've drove sports cars most of my life. I had one little stretch with a SUV when Eighth was a baby, and my first car was a crappy 1987 Ford Escort that my dad bought at a estate sale from an old woman that had died in it. So yeah. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. Do you think Microsoft will end up buying There's been rumors about Sega forever. Is that donation meter working? Sorry, I forgot to. It's working. It's just not working for Super Chats. It only works for donations donated to the link. Let's see here. I'm getting kind of burned out on game systems. Do you think it's older age? Well, it could just be that you care more about your music than you do about video games, Tokes. I mean, like when I made that song that I just uploaded last weekend, I didn't play video games or watch TV for 3 weeks. It took me almost 3 weeks to make that. So the minute I got off work, I was at my computer building that song and mixing it and mastering it and all that. And I learned a lot because that song right there, that's the first time I'd ever used Reaper. The main reason that I got out of making music was because back in the day I used to use Magic's Music Maker, and they put out a new version like in 2011 or something, and they completely changed everything around in it, and they made it where they started microtransactioning it all to hell, where you had to buy all these extra components to be able to do anything with it. And so I kind of got out of it because I couldn't find another music studio software platform that I liked. I bought Acid, I bought Fruity Loops, I bought half a dozen different ones, and I didn't like any of them. And then just kind of out of coincidence, I was watching a video, and this woman was showing how to do a particular audio effect, and she said, "This is Reaper. You can get this for free." And I was like, "Oh, really?" So I went and downloaded it, and it was Reaper's setup is almost exactly like what Magic Music Maker used to be like back in the day. So I was very happy with that. Let's see here. Do you think Dragon's Dogma needs a sequel? Yes. Did you think the show on Netflix was bad? I only watched a couple episodes of it. Are you doing a review of Kingdoms of Amalur? Yes, I've captured all the footage. I just got to upload it. I think you should definitely buy the game Ignorant Sniper. It's a fun game. Is it dated? Yes, it's dated, but it's still a fun action RPG, especially if you like classic God of War that has, a lot of combo potential and stuff. People recommend to me No Man's Sky because it was turned around. I've heard it's a totally different game than what it was when it first came out. I have not played it since I platted it. Your game of the year for 2020? Probably the re-release of Kingdoms of Amalur, to be honest with you. Well, no, Ghost of Tsushima would probably get Ghost of Tsushima, with Kingdoms of Amalur being right behind it. What's your opinion on the 2010s as a whole? Seventh, I love your Dr. Sleep poster. Thank you. That was given to me by Stranded J. He got evidence you threatened Seventh Life. See what I mean? People still remember that stuff, Tokes. I believe Joe Rogan moved from Los Angeles to Austin, which makes him the second best podcaster in Austin. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Me and Seventh are cool, bro. That was some old-time dumb bullspit. We're mature grown men. Console wars are stupid. Something I would severely ignore in the future. Yeah, after all that happened, I realized that Tokes maybe wasn't aware of the fact that so much of what the Trey Brotherhood was just cutting wrestling promos. The people that we argued with back and forth, for the most part, we all knew them behind the scenes. And so we had not necessarily like solid Rever El Presidor, but some of us, the other people that were in the group, we would reach out to people and say, look, I'm going to make a response vid. I think I could counter you. You can say any negative thing about me you want, and I will do the same to you. No families, no personal business, no job stuff. And that was, and as far as you didn't go and do that, all bets were off. You can make fun of anybody for anything. And so it was legit trying to counter each other but we would talk behind the scenes. We got along for the most part. And, everyone else was making videos on Tokes, and I just assumed that someone had reached out to him and let him know what the score was with that kind of thing. And so I made one. And then it turned out that no one had reached out to Tokes to let him know that, and he took it seriously. And so that's when afterwards I reached out to Tokes and we started talking behind the scenes, and then we started having fairly regular conversations on PlayStation Network. We had some chats that lasted for hours, and then I kind of lost touch with him when he started getting more back into his music thing. So I'm glad to see him back. Do you prefer the book or the Kubrick film of The Shining? I like them both for different reasons. Obviously, I don't think The Shining staying true to the book works out as well in a filmic format. All you got to do is watch the miniseries to see why. The whole thing of Danny's dad ghost coming back to congratulate him for graduating from high school or whatever kind of puts too positive of a spin on such a bleak story. 7th, will Sony ever add PS3 support on PS5? Somebody posted a picture on Twitter today where there was a sorting option on PS5 where you can choose to sort by PS3 game. Now, I'm assuming that's where they've integrated PlayStation Now into the menu system. And so when it's saying to sort by PS3, it's talking about PS Now games. But I could be wrong. Let's see. Worst non-Sega CD. There were no Sega CD Legend of Zelda games. You're thinking of the CDI, the Philips CDI. My least favorite Legend of Zelda game. Oh, probably Zelda 2. I never was a big fan of Zelda 2. Thoughts on Super Mario Land? It was okay for what it was. J.A. Allen. Mr. Jeff Allen. Sounded good, 7th. I had to skip. I've got a lot more people on here than recently, Jeff, because I just came back from doing it on Twitch. So I've moved it back to YouTube, and so now I have a lot more questions than I used to. So I'm hopping down to try to catch up so you don't think I'm ignoring you. But for those of you who don't know, Mr. J.A. Allen here, an excellent guitarist and an extremely good mixer and producer. He helped me build the intro music for the 7th Level channel. And I was having problems in Reaper with the quality of the audio, specifically in the vocals, and I couldn't figure out what I was doing wrong. And so I hit up my buddy Jeff here, who I knew would know. And he gave me some tips, and I came in here and I applied the stuff that he was talking about, and it fixed everything. The only thing was I ran out of time. I needed to go in and average out the audio of all the vocals, because some of it, because I was hitting lower notes, was at a lower volume than other parts, and I needed to be able to go in and manually adjust all that with the vocal track option. And I ran out of time because I told all of you guys that I was going to get it posted on Halloween Day. And so I had to post it with those audio dips still in there. The other thing that I would have liked to have done is I didn't get the bass guitar quite right. I didn't get I don't know if I didn't mix it right, but you can just barely make out the bass guitar. And with certain types of punk, you're supposed to be able to hear that do 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 do, and it doesn't come through very well on my mix. So I don't know if I didn't give it enough gain or enough volume, but maybe I had too much low end on the actual guitar parts, and that was drowning the bass out. I don't know. I'd have to sit and play with it more. It would have sounded even better if not for the fact that I'd already told you guys it's posting Halloween Day. And I shouldn't have done that. I should have just told you it's out when it's out, because I had to take a couple of shortcuts. Still, if it wasn't for Jeff, it wouldn't sound near as good as it does now. So hats off to Jeff. From Evan Lester, how are you? I'm doing all right. Clyde79, video games. Are you going to review Watchdog Legions? I don't have Watchdog Legions. If I had Watchdog Legions, I would review it. You know, if you guys want to donate enough for me to get Watch Dogs Legions, I'll be happy to review it for you. But right now, we're at $10. I truly hate that we all had to go through some dumb plastic electronic war. I got news for you, Tokes. It's still going on. It never went away. I just got out of it because all the people that I had fun debating with quit and were replaced with idiots like Mooch and Colt Eastwood and Crap Gamer and Next Gen 720. Sony Acid Roller 42. I bought Sony Acid. Thank you for helping me with my writing, by the way. Oh, no problem. I didn't even realize that was you. different screen name, as you discussed earlier. I didn't put 2 and 2 together on that. Let's see here. I already mentioned what my best game of the year was. Best DLC or standalone expansions that you've played. It was one of the expansions for Borderlands 2. I can't remember the name of it. I got more stuff coming, by the way, Jeff. I got more stuff coming. I've got a whole notebook full of songs, and it's my intention to get them out while I'm still alive and have decent enough finger dexterity to record them. Because, you know, I'm starting to get arthritis in my hands. And I noticed when making that song that I wasn't able to maintain that speed palm muting for as long as I used to. So I was having to cut it up into chunks because I literally couldn't do it for that amount of time before I started to get like really bad pain in my wrist. And there was like notes that I was going to be doing in the solo where I've just lost durability or not durability but flexibility, and I can't hit the speed that I did before. You know, I can just do this right here and it hurts. It hurts moderately bad, and I've also lost some movement in my pinky. So I don't know how much longer I'm going to be able to play guitar, period. And that's why I wanted to hurry the hell up and get all these songs made while I could still make them and post them on SoundCloud. And, you know, I'm not doing it for money. I'm doing it just to have the stuff made so that, you know, when I die, I'll at least have an album's worth of music out there that people can remember me by. But if I made a couple of bucks off it, I wouldn't mind that either. Once I figure out how to do that. I know you can do it through SoundCloud, but SoundCloud, you have to pay $14.99 a month to be able for the privilege of earning money with your music. So I'll have to research that. Let's see here. Thoughts on Super Mario Land? Like I said, it was okay. It was okay. I'm trying to catch up. You guys are asking a lot of questions. Let's see here. Are you excited for upcoming PS5 game, which is remaster was called? Yes, Demon Souls. It's one of the ones I've pre-ordered. Do you know of the Completionist? Yes, I've met the Completionist. He's a cool dude. I hold no grudges against no one. Karma's real. Hell is real. Forgive before you pass away. Don't hold a grudge. Very true. Very true. Do your books, 7th level. Do you have any recommendations? Do I read books, I think you mean. Well, I've read everything for the most part by Stephen King, Clive Barker, Dean Koontz, H.P. Lovecraft. I must admit that I have read all of Lovecraft stuff. This was before I found out about some of his political views. I was unaware of all that. You know, I went into a bookstore and they had the collected fictional works of H.P. Lovecraft, and I bought them and read them all. I was not aware of the fact that he was practically a Ku Klux Klan member. I did not know at the time that I read it. Edgar Allan Poe. I love Edgar Allan Poe. There's a book called Savage by a man named, I think, Peter Lehman. And it's almost like an homage to The Adventures of Tom Sawyer, but it's about a little boy who witnesses Jack the Ripper killing someone in London, and he follows him onto a ship and follows him all the way to the United States, trying to stop Jack the Ripper, who escapes to the U.S. It's a really cool book. It's called Savage, and I'm pretty sure it was Peter Layman, Laymon. If you've never read it, check it out. It's a great book. Let's see here. Do you think Mass Effect series will get remastered on the next-gen consoles? Well, I would assume that's what they announced today. Do you think Dr. Sleep... Dr. Sleep was way... I like Dr. Sleep a lot. I liked it better in the book, actually, because I felt the ending was more satisfying than the ending of the book. Yeah, I don't hang on Twitch. Sorry. I know you don't, Jeff. I know you don't. 7th, have you been getting a PS5 at launch? Yes, I am. Give us some thoughts on Biden winning. No, I won't, because I've told you guys 1,000 times I don't talk about politics on this stream. Why does Sony seem like they have no idea what they're doing anymore? It just seems that way. Favorite Michael Jackson song? Oh, Lord. Probably Smooth Criminal, I guess. Yeah, I know about Genshin Impact. I have it. I just haven't had a chance to play it. Sounded great anyway, brother. Good job. Yeah, lows are lower. You can fix that and release it again. Yeah, I know. I might go back and fix it, or I might just go straight to the next song. I don't know. James Brown, Prince, or Michael Jackson? Who's better? Michael Jackson. Although James Brown is my real godfather. God rest his soul. I've told that story before. If anybody wants me to retell that story of how I became James Brown's godson, please let me know. I'm sure I'm just one of many. Let's see here. No, gee. Cut the lows on guitars up to 100 hertz. That will let the bass cut through. Okay. I'll remember that. I created a template for recording guitar tracks that has all the EQ settings and the compressor and everything, so I'll remember to adjust that for that on the next song I do. YouTubers wanted to see my face without my shades. Things got out of hand when YouTubers posted my private pictures on YouTube. It got kind of personal. Shake my head. Yeah. And I was kind of guilty of that too, Tokes. In fact, I apologize to you for it, because I was the one that I found a couple of things that nobody really had any business knowing about you, and I posted those. I remember, and I shouldn't have done that. That was shitty of me to do. So I'm not going to repeat what they were. I mean, it wasn't anything that anyone would have been able to go and find his house or anything. It wasn't anything like that. It was just a couple of forums that he was signed up for. That's all I'll say. No, I haven't played the Avengers game. I offered to review it if anyone wanted to donate it, but nobody wanted to donate it, so I didn't review it. Let's see here. Wow, no trolls in sight. A weird day. They probably don't realize I've made it back onto YouTube yet. Haven't had a chance to stream in a while. I should get to it sometime. Do you think they'll bring back the True Crimes games? Well, that's what Sleeping Dogs was. Sleeping Dogs was originally True Crime Hong Kong, and it eventually evolved into Sleeping Dogs. Have you done Soma yet? No, I don't do drugs. Now, no, I have Soma, but I haven't played it yet. Let's see here. In your speculation, will the real-life pandemic get worse or lessen? Well, that depends on how it's handled. It'll get worse if we allow it to get worse. That's pretty much it. Quick, everyone, ask more questions. Let's see here. I'm having to skip between person-to-person conversations and actual questions for me. What's up, 7th? It's been a while. Hi, Sebastian. Billie Jean. Hi, Juggernuggets. Or Juggernauts. Yes, I'll be reviewing the PS5. Was there ever a Descendants song that you didn't like very much? I tend to stray away from any time that they get into politics. Those are almost always written by their bass player, Carl Alvarez, and I love him to death. I've met him in person. I've hung out with him. I've smoked weed with him. But I've just never been all that big into songs that sing about political stuff, no matter what side that they lean on. It's just a turn off for me. I don't like it. And so whenever they do a song that's about politics, I don't listen to those. I'll listen to it once to see if it's got a cool hook, but other than that, that'll be the last time I listen to it. Billy Ocean or Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson. I never really got into Billy Ocean at all. As you get older, you get closer to God. It's not that you're soft, it's that you think better and are wiser. Very true. I want to hear the story of James Brown. Okay, quick story. Everybody stop asking questions for just 1 second so I can tell the story of how I became James Brown's godson. So, as you know, my dad was a police officer. One of the things that he would do for extra money was he would get paid to provide security for concerts. So, when it was almost time for me to be born, my dad was doing everything that he could to make extra money to buy cribs and diapers and all this other stuff. And so he did security for a James Brown concert. And he had been there for an hour or so during the opening act. I can't remember who it was. And one of James Brown's security guards comes up to my dad and he tells my dad, the Godfather would like to have a word with you. And so he takes him back to the dressing room and he steps in, and my dad wasn't nervous or anything because he used to be a sessions drummer in Nashville, so he had been around famous musicians for years. And he walks in and James Brown introduces himself and he says basically, so I hear you got a kid on the way. Do you know what it is yet? And he's like, yeah, it's a boy. And he said, well, congratulations. And James Brown gets up and walks over and hands my dad 10 $100 bills and just sticks them in my dad's uniform shirt pocket. And he pats my dad on the shoulder and he says, when the boy's old enough, you make sure he knows who his godfather is. And then they escorted my dad out. So, James Brown's godson. True story. I would not bullshit about something like that. Let's see here. Let's see. Are you going to review Mafia Definitive Edition? Yes, I am, because someone donated the money for me to get it to review it. So yes, that will be reviewed. I've recorded about half the footage I need for it, but I got sidetracked by making my song. Which fries are better, McDonald's or Whataburger? I still think McDonald's fries are a little better. They taste similar, but McDonald's fries have more of a crispiness to them, and they're a little bit bigger and they're saltier. And I like salty stuff. With the amount of people that try to get you to talk politics, have you ever thought of starting a politics channel? No, because I've seen that repeatedly kill channels of video game YouTubers. Perfect example, The Truth Setting You Free. He tried to start he started trying to cover politics and whatnot, and it killed his views. And when he tried to go back to gaming, none of his audience came back. So no, sir, no, bad comment. Bad. All right. Thoughts on the movie The Hunted? Is that one with Tommy Lee Jones and Benicio del Toro, where he's a bounty hunter or something? I might have seen it a long time ago. Let's see. Who's your favorite Iron Man, Thor, or Captain America? Well, my favorite Iron Man is Iron Man. My favorite Thor is Thor. And my favorite Captain America is Captain America. I think you might have maybe worded that a little off. Maybe you needed a comment in there somewhere. I mean, out of those three, Captain America is probably my favorite. Sleeping Dogs versus Watch Dogs. Sleeping Dogs. Let's see here. Did you at least do your part and vote for? And if you're related to James Brown, come on. Okay, yep. You're gone. You're toast. You are toast. Knew a troll would show up eventually. How much coke was James Brown on? I have no idea. I wasn't even born yet. So you have an N-word pass because of your godfather. Nice. No. Here's the thing. My former boss at my job, we were friends for 4 years. He's a black guy. And, he used to tell me all the time, you're my only white friend that I would give an N-word pass to. You have your official N-word pass. He even printed like a little fake, N-word pass thing off the internet, and he left it for me on my desk. And to this day, I don't do that. Even to him, even when I talk to him, he's like, why don't you ever use that N-word pass? I'm like, dude, I'm not saying that word, even if you tell me to. So, yeah. I officially have one, but I choose not to use it. With great power comes great responsibility, and that's a power I didn't want. No, sir. No, thank you. Do you want Sly Cooper to return on PS5? Absolutely. 7th, have you ever played Saints Row? Yes. What do you think of where it started to where it ended up? I don't mind where it ended up, because it started out as just a clone of Grand Theft Auto, and it morphed into its own thing. And I thought it was more fun when it got wacky. Running around town, beating people to death with a purple dong saber. I mean, who couldn't get a laugh out of that? Like you, James Rolfe from Cinemassacre made AVGN just avoids politics because he doesn't want to get into it. Exactly. Yo, 7th, what do you think about Green Jelly Little Pig guitar riff? To me, it feels like the greatest riff of all time. I don't know if I've heard that song by Green Jelly. I remember them when they were Green Jello before they got sued. And, I remember the couple of songs that I saw on MTV. And at the time when I saw them, I just thought, now there's a band that really wishes they were Gwar. But you've probably listened to them a little bit more than me, Tokes, from the sound of it. I'll have to go back and listen to more of their stuff. Let's see here. $2 from She's Mine 22. Thank you for the $2. I appreciate that. So that puts us up to $12 for the night. $12. Seventh, does eighth play Fall Guys? I don't believe so. Mainly because I don't think he could get any of his friends to download it and play it. I have it installed, but I haven't played it either. Who's better in the ring, Bret Hart or Chris Benoit? I would say Bret Hart, because he's still alive and didn't murder his family. What's the scariest film you've ever seen? That's really subjective, man. That's really subjective. That being said, Hannah Montana the movie. Does Eighth have friends? Eighth has a lot of friends. Eighth is very popular. He is a popular kid because he went walking into this, suburbanite, white bread, middle class, middle Texas high school, looking like a roadie for Slayer. And so, he constantly had girls calling him up, and people from every clique like him. Of course, he's got some people that hate his guts too. And on top of that, there are some folks that, even though Eighth is only 5'6", Eighth is like very broad-shouldered and kind of hulking, and he's extremely strong for his size. And so there are some folks at the school that are legit terrified of him because they see him coming and they just walk to the other side of the hallway. So Eighth is very popular, but he's also very feared and respected. I agree with your thoughts on Saints Row, a giant parody of a bunch of other games. Well, there's nothing wrong with that. Do you or Eighth play Sonic games or read? No, I don't read the comic books. I play the old Sonic games. I don't really think that 8th has ever gotten into any particular Sonic game at all, to my knowledge. Since my donation board isn't working because people are only donating through the super chat, I'm going to have to open up an instance of Notepad so I can keep up with how much has been donated. So give me a second here. Let me open up Notepad so I can... So we've had a $10 and we've had a $2. Oh, crap. I missed that. Hold on just a second. I completely missed that. You know what time it is? Remaining, we are at $12 donated. That means we are $38 short of the 10 o'clock goal. What's your favorite fast food? Whataburger. Do you think Sony is going to screw up the PS5? No. Let's see here. Did you think Dead Silence was scary? Dead Silence had some scary moments, but it had a really stupid plot. If it had a better plot, I think it would have been a scarier film. But because it was about the ghost of a ventriloquist, I couldn't take it seriously. When it got to that scene where she was using a dead guy as a ventriloquist dummy, I started laughing, and I couldn't take the movie... I just couldn't take it seriously from that point on. Have you ever had a wet magic powers on stream? No. No. .420 time. No, this is just regular vape fluid. Holy shit, that was loud. Yes, that's to wake you up. If you want, I can play it again. Show of hands, who in the chat has actually listened to my new song? Everybody, I want a show of hands. Everyone who's watching right now, have you listened to my new song? Yes or no? So that goes out to Master Chief, Corich, Side, Terry Bogart, the comment guy, Chris G, everybody. Have you heard it or not? I did, but my question was not answered. Were you asked a question that wasn't answered? I didn't see it, Jeff. Let me scroll up. What guitars and amp did you use on the tune? Did you use the old Ibanez or the new Jackson? I used the old Ibanez, the one with the spider web cut in the body. And I used that little Fender Mustang practice amp. And I recorded it all using this microphone. This is a HyperX Quadcast microphone. It's made for live streaming. It's made for doing stuff like this. It's not really made for music, but I made it work. I made it work. One of the things that I want to get is I want to get a nice foot pedal, and I've actually picked one out, Jeff, and I can show you what it is. Give me a second to get me a window open, and I'll show you what it is here. Let me go to Amazon. I have it saved on my list. I have it saved on my wish list. Hold on, Jeff. This is the foot pedal I'm wanting to buy. It's the Boss ME80. And it's about $290. So let me scroll back down now that I found it. Were you pissed when Cyberpunk got delayed? No. No, is it on the channel? Okay, who would like to listen to the song live right now? Because I can make that happen for you. I think that would be a good one, don't you, Jeff? I mean, it ought to be able to do most of what I'd want to do. Me. Okay. Hold on just a second. It should still be on here. I think this is it. All right, everybody, hold your questions for about the next 3.5 minutes. If it works. I might have lost it. There we go. Now, for those of you who actually liked that, I would appreciate it if after the 7th cast, you go pull it up on my channel and give it a view and a like, because it's been posted for a week and hasn't even broke 200 views yet. So, if you would, please. Okay, so that's a good foot pedal, Jeff. Glad I picked a good one, so I'll know what exactly to buy. There's not going to be a DMCA strike because 1, it's a transformative work. 2, the music is all me. 3, I flipped the image on all of it except for the scene that says Red Rum on the door. And you'll notice that I even edited it to where what you're seeing on screen lines up with the vocals. Do you like Ghost Hunters? Yeah, I like watching Ghost Hunter stuff, Tokes. I've told you about my paranormal experiences before. Your song is well made. Keep up the good work. All power to you and your band. There's no band. That was all me. All of it was me. I did all that myself. No band. Seventh, are you surprised Rockstar is now pulling an EA and are just going to milk Grand Theft Auto? No, I'm not surprised at all. From She's Mine. That's freaking awesome, Seventh. I'm going to listen to it now. Thank you. For some reason, some of your vids don't show up in my feed. The hell you say? Been having to go directly to the channel. You don't say. Boy, I've never heard that before. Note thick sarcasm. It's on this channel, Courage. I just played it for you. Is the line during here's Johnny saying here's Seventh? Yes, it does. Because it happens right before the guitar solo. I posted it to Facebook. Thank you. Do you play PUBG? Hell no. I can put your song in my favorite playlist right now, but the 1+ like will come after the cast is over. Thank you. The Seventh Band, a one-man band. Exactly. The band known as the Seventh Level is me. Do you think we'll see a DC versus Mortal Kombat? Another one. Not likely. Maybe some. Well, I don't know. But I kind of doubt it. And even when I did have a band, it wasn't a full quartet. It was a trio, because I was singing and playing guitar. We had a drummer and a bass player, so it was like Green Day. It was a trio instead of being a 4-piece. If we had ever found someone interested in being in the band who could play all the songs, I would have gladly stepped away from singing or from guitar and just done the singing. And at the same time, if we had ever found a singer who could do the work and sounded good, I would have stepped away from vocals and just done guitar. But that never happened. And of course, the band broke up when I left Tennessee, and so now I just make all the music myself. I like that I made it somewhat convincing enough to where someone in the chat thought that was an actual bass player, drum player, singer, and guitar player. That makes me happy. I appreciate that. Can you listen to this, Seventh? Brand new. Listen to what? It might not let you post a link in here, Jeff. You might have to, if there's something you want me to listen to, you might have to send it to me on Facebook or something. This chat room may or may not let you post links. I don't know. Did you ever finish Ghost of Tsushima? Yeah, I platted it. Any concerns about the liquid metal inside the PS5? Not really. As long as it's done right, it shouldn't be a problem. I got Green Day vibes from that song in a good way. There's a lot of people that would be insulted by being compared to Green Day. I've gotten that comparison ever since I started singing. I don't mind it at all. You can compare me to a multi-million album selling band anytime you want to. Thank you. Appreciate it. Who you think would win in a fictional battle between Dante from Devil May Cry and Kratos from God of War? Kratos. Good shit, Seven. Thank you, Tokes. Appreciate it. My man, Seventh from 16-Bit Pete. Figures that you would show up after I played my new song, you dork. How's it going, Pete? What are your thoughts that the PS5 games can't be stored on external hard drives? Well, maybe it'll happen eventually. Sent to you in Facebook Messenger. Okay? Are you asking me to play it live on here, Jeff, or you just want to know my thoughts on it after the show? Am I old if I found out about The Shining from The Simpsons? Well, even if that's true, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're older than me, because I found out about it by watching it and like on TV in like 1984, so before The Simpsons existed. Have you ever traveled abroad? No. Always wanted to, never had the opportunity. I've never been out of the States. Is there space on your entertainment center for the PS5? No. It's too big for the shelves. I'm going to have to set it on a table next to the entertainment center. Did you like the movie Dinosaur? It was okay. $2 from She's Mine. Super chat. Who wins, Jason Voorhees or Michael Myers? Jason Voorhees. Michael Myers is still mortal. That's another $2. That puts us up to $14. We are 36 away from the 10 o'clock goal. Have you heard about the controversial Netflix movie Cuties? I mean, I like Michael Myers better than Jason Voorhees. He's a more interesting character. But Jason Voorhees is an undead zombie, and Michael Myers is just, a crazy guy with tard strength wearing a William Shatner mask. Let's be honest. You can do either with it. Okay. Let me see. I did that by creating a media source. Is the song posted on YouTube, Jeff, or is it posted as a video on like your Facebook? Because if it's posted as a video on your Facebook, I won't be able to share it. The software only allows me to share like YouTube videos. Just let me know. If not, I promise I'll listen to it as soon as the 7thCast is over. And I'll message you on Facebook to let you know what I thought. Yes, I've heard about Cuties. No, I haven't watched it. I have no interest in watching it. Yeah, I knew you were complimenting me with the Green Day stuff. Let's see here. Wow, Pete is still alive. Yes, he is. 7th, I watched a full episode of He-Man recently for the nostalgic feeling. 7th, I have a whole lot of spirit box sessions on my channel, building my spirit portal. It's going to get intense. Starting a paranormal documentary series in early 2021. Cool. I thought about doing that when me and 8th moved here to Texas, because there's haunted places all over Texas. I just never got around to it. Hell, I haven't even been to San Antonio yet, and I've been here almost 4 years. I absolutely cleaned out my PS4 Pro and changed the cooling paste, the thermal paste, and the thermal pads, and now it is whisper quiet. Huh. Maybe I should make 8th do that for me. Do you like the film Pay It Forward? No. Do you think I should switch to PC gaming? My brother built a gaming PC and said all I need is a graphics card and I should be good. I'm thinking of ditching console gaming. Depends on how much money you want to spend and what your personal setup is. I don't like having a PC on the floor next to my TV in the game room because I have dogs and they would likely want to piss all over it. So I keep my PC in my office where the dogs can't get to it. And when I game, I want to game in my recliner. I don't want to be sitting at a desk doing it. That's just me. Did you like the film The Good Son? I liked it at the time. I went back and rewatched it, and it wasn't as good as I remembered it being. From Tokes, 7th, your song sounds like a motion picture soundtrack. Well, I appreciate that. Again, I made that with Reaper, Tokes. If you ever wanted to try to make some more like rock type stuff as opposed to hip hop, Reaper's a good one to have, and it's free. It doesn't cost anything. And it kind of goes with your whole horror vibe because it's called Reaper. Kind of works. Did you like The Land Before Time? No, not really. I never cared for that one too much. I don't know why. Just didn't appeal to me. I didn't like the Fievel movies either. Why didn't you like the film Pay It Forward? Because it's just a mushy drama movie, and I don't like that kind of stuff. You just made the newest music. Great work. Thank you. Appreciate it. Also, we don't have a Torque security bit kit, thermal paste, or pads. Buy that shit and I'll do it for both our consoles. Find the shit on Amazon, send me the links, and I'll buy it, 8th. $2 more from She's Mine. Beatrix Kiddo, Kill Bill, or John Wick? Who wins? Oh, shit. That'd be a hell of a fight to watch. I kind of think Wick would win that one. I think he would edge it out just a little bit. It would be neck and neck right to the end, and then Wick would pull something out of his ass. That's how I feel. So that being said, let me add another $2 on there. That puts us up to $16, $34 away from the 10 o'clock goal. Hello, 7th. You're back on YouTube with the 7thCast. How did you know? So, Polymega, thoughts? Hasn't shown up yet. Hasn't shown up. Supposed to ship next week. We shall see. I think it's funny that the system is supposed to be shipping next week, but their website is silent. Their Twitter account is silent. Their Facebook account is silent. They're not talking about the system at all, and yet it ships. It's supposed to ship next week. I find that very suspicious. I'm not an American and I don't know much about the culture. What is the meaning behind Green Day and your song sounding like a British punk rocker? Well, Green Day is an American rock band. So he was saying that I sound similar in my singing voice to an American rock band, that being Green Day. Their lead singer, Billy Joe Armstrong, was a big fan of bands like the Sex Pistols and the Dead Kennedys, and so he emulates their sound when he sings, and people say that I sound like him. Have you ever wanted to do a road trip? I recently drove almost from coast to coast. Yeah, I love doing road trips. Every excuse I could get to get in the car and just drive somewhere, I used to love to do that. Not the easiest thing to do when you're a single dad, though, unless the kid wants to go with you. And sometimes there's places I'd like to go where 8th could not care less to go there. So, and especially this year, it hasn't been the brightest idea. But yeah, I love going on road trips. You should be set then, as long as you get. Yeah. Let's see here. I am smoker. The inside of the PS4 Pro was a mess. Good thing the Blu-ray lens was not affected. The front of the Blu-ray drive does not let dirt in. Okay. Getting PS5 is hard as hell. Yes, it was. Wasn't that hard for me, though, because I'm getting one. Do you think Helen Hunt is hot? She was cute back in the day. I have not seen her recently. I also upgraded from Windows 7. Cool. Yeah. Look at all that gray. Holy shit. I'm almost completely gray at this point. Look at that. That is terrible. I'm going to have to shave all this off and use some of my beard dye. Because I've got less and less black in there every week when I come on the 7thCast. It's like just a little bit more gray and a little less black. I'm going to have to dye that. I'm going to have to dye it. If the poly doesn't ship on time and is delayed, is a refund in order? Probably. 7th, I would say so. Thoughts on Robocop? Love Robocop. It's one of my favorite movies. From Toke64, 7th, which superhero movies are better to use? Superman, Christopher Reeve, or the Batman movies? I think it's hard to top Superman 1 and 2. And of the original Batman series, the only one I really like is the first one. There are parts of Batman Returns that I like, but it went a little bit too far on the silly side. And most of that movie, it's so painfully obvious that it's on a sound stage. You know, it has more of a fake look to it than the first one did, which is saying a lot since so much of the first one was matte paintings. But still, if I had to choose between Superman 1 and 2 and Batman Returns, I'd pick Superman 1 and 2. I do have the Polymega pre-ordered. And the reason being is because it will save a lot of wear and tear on my cartridges and my retro consoles. You know, I'm big on preservation. So if I'm playing them on my Polymega, that's less wear and tear on the carts, less wear and tear on the consoles. That's the main reason I wanted it. Ever heard of deceased YouTubers like Etika or Total Biscuit? Yes, I have. I never watched Etika, so I can't really speak about him. I watched Total Biscuit a couple of times. He did good reviews. Do you like the movie Battle Royale? I liked the first one. Second one, not so much. The rebooted version of Robocop wasn't so great. It was a good sci-fi action movie, but it was not a good Robocop movie because they took all the satire out of it. All the satire with the fake commercials and all that. They took all the humor out of the reboot, and that's why people didn't like it. If they had left the humor in and tried to keep that Paul Verhoeven feel to it, it would have done okay. Robocop versus Terminator. Video game was okay. I remember the comic book. I think it was Dark Horse. Yeah, I'm looking forward to the PS5. I'm looking forward. Of course, the thing of it is, as far as cleaning the PS4s out, as far as cleaning PS4 out, maybe we shouldn't even bother doing that 8th since the PS5 is coming in a week. You know, I won't need my PS4 Pro for the most part after the PS5 comes out. We'll talk about it later. Shit. Another $2 from She's Mine. Predator versus Rambo. Who do you think wins? Holy hell. I gotta go with Rambo. You see what he did to those to the Mexican cartels in the most recent one? Holy crap. So that's now puts us up to $18. So we're 32 away from the 10 o'clock goal. Which was worse, Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, or Superman 3 and 4? Oh, shit. Superman 3 and 4 were horse shit. So I'd have to go with Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Because at least with Batman and Robin, I can pretend that I'm just watching a 2-hour reboot of the Adam West TV show. Because that's pretty much what it was. How did you manage to get a PS5? I pre-ordered it on Target. And it'll be here in a week or so. You don't know that you're going to be stuck with it for 4 or 5 whole more months. It just depends on when they're back in stock and when, you know, I have another $500 saved up. 7th, why does Mouthwatch burn your tongue and mouth when it's in your mouth? Because it has alcohol in it. I'm so much of a pansy when I use mouthwash that I have to grab onto something to cope with the pain. Good Lord. Don't ever drink booze. And plus, you know, the nastier your mouth is, the more it burns. Just saying. You heard they ain't even making more till March. I have not heard that. Yes, they make mouthwash that doesn't burn, but it's also not as effective. When were you in high school? Did you see any stereotypical bullies? I was in high school in late 80s to early 90s. And yeah, there were bullies. The way you took care of bullies when going into high school as a freshman was you made a big enough of a scene in a big enough of a public place where everyone saw it, and so it would start the rumor and the gossip mill that if you tried to bully this particular individual, you were going to be embarrassed in public. So I had my first day of freshman year, I had a guy try to bully me in the cafeteria, so I dropped my books and took my lunch that was on my plate, on my lunch tray, and I slammed it right down on his head and splattered ketchup and mustard all over him. So he was drowned in ketchup and mustard. It was all on his face. It was in his hair. It was all down his shirt. And that was the only time that anyone ever tried to bully me in high school. I showed him day one that I wasn't going to put up with that shit. Well, 7th, it looks like you exposed me. I have to cut back on sugary stuff. I have a sweet tooth. I got to cut back and revert my dental hygiene. Sounds like it. You also need to floss regularly. You uncouth fucker. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Sent the SoundCloud version of Facebook Messenger. Okay, cool. Ghost or The Notebook, which is more emotion? I don't watch that kind of crap. It's only a snippet, but I think you'll like the new. I think you'll love the new work. Very surprising. You can play it here if you want. I don't know if I can play a SoundCloud clip through here. If I can, I don't know how to do it. I barely know anything about OBS. I've learned just enough to be able to work in it. And that's pretty much it. Okay. If there's a way to do it, I don't know how to do it. I know I can edit a media source, but I'm not sure if I can set a SoundCloud link as a media source. Let me try. Where's my thing? Let me go to my Facebook. Facebookoo. Copy link address. Let me go to media source. Can I edit that media source? Let's go to properties. Replace that with this. Done. All right, I'm going to attempt this. I'm going to try to play this track from Jeff. It's just a snippet of a new song, he says. Let's see if it works. Y'all let me know if it starts playing. I don't know if it will or not. I don't hear any audio, so apparently those kind of links do not work as sharing a media source. Won't let me do it, damn it. I'm sorry, Jeff. I tried. It appears that type of a SoundCloud link will not play. And if I knew how to pull up a browser and play that, I would, but I don't know how to do that on here. I've never done that before, so I don't know how to do it. Sorry, guys. I tried. Here, let me do this. Here's the link. Well, I don't want to do that. That's shit. Let me see. Let me do this. I'm going to open this. And let's try this. Let's see if this will work. Oh, go away, ad for Pro Unlimited. Let's try this. Media source, edit. Done. Anybody hearing anything? I don't show any audio, so I guess not. 8th.
I know how to do it.
You know how to do it?
Yep.
All right, show me how to do it. Plus.
Let's see.
Yeah, that's my mic. That's gonna...
Well, I was trying to get your desktop audio. Nope, it's getting your desktop audio. But that completely removes it.
Right, so they're either going to hear it duplicated in the microphone, or they're going to get nothing.
Or turn that all the way down.
What did you turn down? Oh, well, yeah, that worked. Alright, so everybody listen to that. Alright. See ya. Thank you, sir. That's not the song that Jeff wanted played though. So He Who Laughs Last. Yeah, let me get to the right one. There we go. Here we go. I think this is what Jeff wanted to share. All right. There you go. That is my buddy Jeff, Mr. J.A. Allen. That is J.A. Allen. If any of you guys like Jeff's guitar work, he has an album that you can buy out there that's called The Vampire of Vaudeville. And it's all instrumental stuff. It's really good. It's a fantastic album. And he's working on a second one. Eighth out of nowhere. We have to get your stuff released as well. Well, I know that there's a website. There's a website that you can pay. And I can't remember the name of it. Something Kid. Like CD Kid or Track Kid or something like that, where you can pay to have your stuff. They'll put your stuff on like Spotify and all that stuff, and then you get a commission on people that buy the tracks. As far as actually getting it released on a CD, I don't have the money for that kind of shit. All of it on one record before it's too late. Yeah, before I'm dead or before my hands get too bad. I got to hurry up and record all these songs. I'm also thinking about redoing some of the old ones that I have on my SoundCloud channel. 7th, you're not going to use night mode on your Windows 10. I use it on some things, but it doesn't work on some pages. I don't know why. I have my Chrome set to night view, but some of the pages don't support it. I'm talking about me, son. Oh, well, excuse me. Excuse me. Maybe I should join Toke's record label. And I'll put out all my punk rock on his record label. Psychosis Records. I won't be around forever to help you. Well, I won't be around forever neither. I'm not exactly in the best of health there, Jeff. Anyone else remember Windows Millennium, the worst piece of... Yeah, I remember that. Urinal Cake Records. There's Jeff pissing on my music. What time is it? All right, I'm keeping track of the time. I'm keeping the track of the time. Self-published on my own label, 7th Sign Records. Yep. Hey, 7th, is Dumpster Fire the new DBTS? Yes, it is, Alex. Yes, it is. Talk about taking the piss. Nah, just a great punk rock label name. Ah, yeah. Did you like the movie The Haunted Mansion? Yes and no. That's a movie that would have been better if it didn't have Eddie Murphy in it. You know, I would have preferred to just have had a good movie based on the storyline of The Haunted Mansion without turning it into an Eddie Murphy family comedy, you know? If they had done it instead, like maybe a more kid-friendly version, younger kid-friendly version of Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark, the movie. Are you talking about that Tokes, the Tokes from the good old Trey days? Yes, same guy. He's been in the chat most of the night. I hope Eighth Nose was okay in there, you know, magic power. Oh, well... You know, I haven't let go of any magic powers in over an hour, so it would have dissipated by now. We have air conditioning. That's one thing that didn't rub off on him that much. Eighth barely has any magic power at all. In fact, the only time I've ever heard him use any magic powers in his sleep. Which film had the better bad guy, Speed or Breakdown? Breakdown's that Kurt Russell movie, right? Speed. 7th CD Baby. What is CD Baby, Tokes? Is that a website where you can have your CDs made or something? What if his magic powers are silent? They could be. Hold on. Ah, magic powers. Who was more of an idiot, Dr. Trey or J-Tech? J-Tech. By far. J-Tech takes the win by a wide margin. 7th, if you could have any car that's like the Holy Grail with any mods, what would it be? Well, I kind of already have that now. I'm a big fan of 70s era muscle cars. And so, I mean, the Dodge Challenger is really just a car that's designed to be similar to a 70s era muscle car like the original Challenger. And so I love that car so much, I'm happy with what I got. I did love my 2000 Camaro, but it doesn't have near as much horsepower as my Challenger does. You sell them on CD Baby. Ah. Vampire Vaudeville 1 is on there. Okay, I'll look into that. Thanks, Tokes. Thanks, Jeff. How do you beat Dr. Trey in stupidity? By being horrible at trolling and being 99% wrong about everything that you say. They do electronic now as well. Cool. Whole thing started as an inside joke between me and him, but it's more of a joke for his channel now, so I don't really participate in it anymore. He's talking about the magic power thing. Let me tell you how the magic power thing started. The magic power thing started as an inside joke between me and 8th after watching the movie Swiss Army Man, because you have Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, playing a corpse, and he has all these magic powers that come from gas escaping from his rotting body. And so we started making jokes about magic gas power. And so then, it was like, every time I let one go, I'd be like, wow, I have magic powers. And that's where it came from. And so for a long time, it was just like a little inside joke between me and 8th. And then I started, without thinking about it, repeating it on here if I ever farted live on camera. And so that's where that came from. A 7th, I do have a grunge band metal voice. Cool. So you're kind of doing that Ice-T thing. I can't remember the name of his band. They did Cop Killer and all those other tracks. I can't remember the name of his band now. What happened to the truth now? I think he got remarried and he quit YouTube. True, my dad had a 1991 Fox Body Mustang. Vicious on my own. Yes, that's how it is. Tim Burton has confirmed it was a holiday release, so yeah, in a way it was. Oh, about Batman Returns? I don't know so much that it's a Christmas movie as it's just a movie that happens to have part of it take place during Christmas. So I don't. That one could go either way, I think. But I mean, it didn't come out during Christmas time. It came out in the summer of 1992. I remember I went to see it with my dad, and he fell asleep in the theater. So I mean, it wasn't released at Christmas time for people to go see it as a Christmas movie. But it does take place during the Christmas holidays, so that one could go either way. Body count, yeah. Toke's doing the body count thing. That I'd like to hear. From 8th, Fall Guys can eat me. I play action RPGs mostly, not dumb party games. Have you still had contact with the truth setting you free? Not in a few years, no. I got a message from him on PlayStation Network a couple of years ago, and that was the last I heard from him. And that was because he had actually had a video of his that was posted on America's Funniest Home Videos, and I happened to see it, and I mentioned it to him, and he replied to me. But it was a video where he was getting his little boy in the car, and they all got in the car, and he was like, "Guess what? We're going to Disney World." And his kid was like, "I don't want to go to Disney World," and started crying. And it ended up on America's Funniest Home Videos. I'll take it from the director. I got you, Jeff. CD Baby and digital for Amazon and other online outlets for your album sales. Cool. I will do that. I'll do that, Tokes, once I have an album's worth full of material. Right now, I only have one song that I think the quality on it is good enough to end up on an album. The rest of it is like crappy demo sounding stuff. But once I have somewhere between 15 and 20 songs, then I'll have to do it. Yeah. Did Review Tech USA ever respond to your video you made on him? That was mad funny. No, he never did. I mean, he and I talk because, you know, we know each other over the internet, you know, and we DM back and forth every so often on Twitter. So, but yeah, that one he never replied to it. I'm still hurting over Eddie Van Halen. He was my first true get fiddle hero. Made me take it serious. 1978. Yeah, that one stung, man. That one stung. Because, you know, not just because it's just a sad way to go and he died so young, but, you know, that's not a situation where you can just get another guitar player. You know, even if it was having his son switch from bass to lead guitar, it just wouldn't be the same. It wouldn't be the same. Bye, Master Chief. Did you like Baywatch? No, I never got into Baywatch. Considering the fact that the sound of the sound of hard rock / metal in the 80s completely changed after Eddie came along, and considering that he was definitely a part of what made Beat It such a cross-cultural success, you could say that Eddie Van Halen was directly responsible for a lot of what comprised the sound of 80s popular music. And his influence is still heard in music today. Nobody can ever take that away from him. He was incredibly influential. And so, yeah, he changed everything. Mike Tyson or Roy Jones Jr.? I don't know. I got a soft spot for Tyson. Soft spot for Tyson. Superman 78 or Batman 89, which is better? I got to go with 78, if for no other reason that it was the first movie that did a comic book story justice, and it also has that John Williams soundtrack. My God. My God. You know, if I could do something like that, but with a guitar, oh, that would be glorious. But I'm not that good. I'm not that good. I'm not even close. Not even close. I am your average generic punk rock guitarist at best. Seventh, do you think there's a game worse than Superman 64? No, but possibly games equally as bad, like Irritating Stick for PS1. It's just as bad, but for different reasons. Blackbuster Critic versus Review Tech USA. Who was smarter? Oh, I don't know. I mean, I must admit a little bit of bias and want to say Blackbuster. But then again, it's hard to say because Review Tech never really has done the whole counter video thing that Blackbuster and the rest of us were doing. Seventh level, what was your earliest YouTube memories? Earliest YouTube memory. Angry Video Game Nerd. The Bugs Bunny episode. That's my earliest YouTube memory. Boys in the Hood or Menace to Society, which is better? I prefer Boys in the Hood. You sell yourself short creating something. If it's music as well as a tremendous feat, you can do a lot. Your stuff is very good. Thank you. Appreciate it. I don't know a hell of a whole lot about music theory. I just write what pops into my head. And even then, a lot of times what pops into my head is way more complicated than what I can actually play, so I have to simplify it somewhat to where I can actually perform it. There are instrumental tracks that I have in my head that I just haven't been able to do because I can't actually play what's in my head. It's very hard. It's very hard. No, I don't remember Refutech going back and forth with someone named Lizard Squad. That stuff comes from somewhere we don't know, like a glove, a gift. True. Very true. And I have a lot of songs that I want to do. I have a new one that I wrote a few days ago, actually, that I want to do. It's a bit of a personal song, but you know, it's pretty far down the list. I've got a lot of different things that I want to do. And speaking about what we spoke on a few days ago, Jeff, I actually did an instrumental cover of an old gospel song many, many years ago. It's a song called We Exalt Thee. If you've never heard it, you might want to look it up. And, I mean, you know, it only has the same lyric over and over again, which is, we exalt thee, we exalt thee, we exalt thee, O Lord. But it had, when I was growing up, my church band would play it a lot, and it had a trumpet solo. That was just a tremendous trumpet solo. There was so much emotion in it. And at one point, I was doing some recording with my band, and I said, hey guys, I want to show you a really simple chord progression. And I showed them this chord progression. And I said, do you think you can just play that on repeat? And they were like, yeah. And so we were playing through that, and we laid that down. And then I remembered that trumpet solo, and I transposed it to guitar. And I wish I still had that recording. I wish I still had it. But that's one time where I've done a gospel song. And it was because I was so impressed by the trumpet solo that I wanted to see what it would sound like through a distorted guitar. Maybe I'll have to re-record We Exalt Thee at some point. Maybe do it for Christmas, or no, maybe do it for Easter. Maybe I could do it as a special Easter release. Wouldn't be that hard to do it, because the whole song is just We exalt. I can't get that. It's just We exalt thee. We exalt thee, we exalt thee, O Lord. And that's the whole song. You just repeat that 2 or 3 times, and then it goes into the solo, and then they sing it a couple more times, and then it's done. That would be a very easy track to do, because it has a very simple bass track, and it's just like a very simple chord progression, and then it goes into the solo, and the solo plays over the same chord progression as the lyrics. So it'd be very easy to do. I would just have to remember the notes to play that solo. Do I like Black Sabbath? I like some Black Sabbath. I don't like all Black Sabbath. Time it. Oh, shit. You know what time it is? We only have 1 hour remaining, ladies and gentlemen. We have had a total of $18 donated. So we are $32 short of the $50 goal to extend it by 1 hour. We've had 0 donations via Streamlab. It's all been through the gray button with the $sign on it thus far. Yngwie Malmsteen. I never was as into him as I was Eddie, but, you know, that's a talent that obviously I cannot deny. I've heard a lot of his stuff. I just never really got into him as a performer and as a songwriter. You know, the other thing about Eddie is he just wrote really catchy songs. He wrote songs that infected your head like a virus. I mean, come on, Panama Jump, all that stuff, come on. And I'll tell you what, people look at me funny when I say this. My favorite Van Halen album is the Balance album from 1995. It's just got some songs on it that I really, really like. I just really like that album. You know, I'll sit and put that album on repeat just to have something playing in the background. I love that album. And a lot of people just don't even seem to remember it at all. You know, they'll remember how much they didn't like Van Halen 3, but they don't remember the Balance album. It's weird. Thoughts on the low storage on the next-gen consoles? Did you have any solutions? Well, not as yet, because they don't have any... there haven't been any SSDs that have been approved by Sony to be fully compatible with the PS5's expansion slot yet. Magic mouth power. Do you think Adam Sessler will return to G4? I couldn't care less. G4 is superfluous. It's not needed anymore. YouTube replaced it. We replaced it. Van Hagar, God, no. I don't know, man. I mean, you know, I love the 1984 album. You know, I even like Diver Down, you know, and I like that last album that they did with Roth, the one that came out a few years ago. I even like it with the train on the front cover. I even like it. But for some reason, there's some songs on the Balance album that I just really like, as far as the progression and the melody, and it's hard to describe. I don't know why I like that one better than the others, but that's the one that I tend to replay more than any of their other albums. Some Kind of Truth, yeah, that's the one with the tank on the cover. Yeah, which that album wasn't like stupendous, but it had a couple of good tracks on it. Thoughts on The Undertaker? Still love The Undertaker. Have you seen the new Sonic movie? Yes, liked it. Welcome back, Cotter. Just got here. Thanks, Darkstar. Appreciate it. Welcome back, Cotter. Up your nose with a rubber hose. I heard Adam Sandler became a social justice warrior. Well, I don't know if that's true or not, but he certainly became addicted to crack. Seventh, did you close your Netflix or do you not have one? A Netflix account? Yeah, I still have Netflix. I have Netflix. I have Disney Plus. I have Hulu. I have Amazon Prime. I have HBO Max. And I have VRV for watching anime. I heard that Sony is buying Crunchyroll. You know what they ought to do? They ought to include a Crunchyroll subscription in your PSN Plus subscription. That way, anyone who's a PSN Plus member, PS Plus member, gets Crunchyroll. That's what they ought to do. But they won't. Would you ever go back to a theater? After the vaccine comes out, maybe. Do you think we'll be seeing more actual good movie adaptations now that the Sonic one turned out so good? I would hope so, but it also means that there's going to be a lot of also rans where they try to recapture what it did well and just not do it as good. A lot of people are boycotting Netflix over that Cuties movie. I just don't, it's not in my list. It doesn't show up as a recommended for me. So as far as I go, I never even see it. It doesn't even show up on the screen for me. So unless I went looking for it, which I won't, I wouldn't have even known it was there aside from news stories. Adam Sandler was on something, man. Those last couple of years, he was stoned in almost every interview he did. I remember seeing an interview with him at, I think it was E3, and they showed him from the knees up, sitting in his chair, and his hands were resting on his knees, and they were just going like this. That dude was on something, and he had lost a ton of weight. He had that meth head look. Still had his teeth though. Didn't have meth mouth, but God, he looked strung out as shit. Instead of a fourth Matrix film, do you think we should have gotten a TV series? Probably would have worked well if it had been on HBO or something like that. I kind of doubt Disney's going to buy Nintendo. That'd be a pretty big investment, to be honest with you. And with the amount of money that they've lost this year, they ain't going to be buying shit for a while. Do you think we'll get an animated Mario film since that live action movie was trash? Well, I mean, I had heard that one was in pre-production. That was before all this, coof stuff happened, but 7, the Nintendo treats their Mario movie the same way the Sonic movie was treated in terms of silliness and not trying to be a blockbuster film. Will it be a good flick? I would hope so. Have you seen the Netflix Dark Crystal series? No, because I didn't like the movie. I'm sorry. I did not like the Dark Crystal. I was impressed by the puppetry and I was impressed by the set design and the special effects and all that. But for me, that was a boring-ass movie. I can remember the first time I saw it, my mom had gone to the video store, and they always, when they went to the video store, they'd get me 2 movies, my dad 2 movies, and my mom would pick out something for herself. And the 2 movies that she picked out for me were The Dark Crystal and The Never-Ending Story. And I watched them both. I loved The Never-Ending Story, and I didn't even finish The Dark Crystal the first time I tried to watch it because I got so damn bored. And so then the next day, before they took them back, I forced myself to sit all the way through it just to see how the story ended, and I just didn't like it. And so I didn't even bother to watch the series because I didn't like the movie it was based upon. What's your opinion on the Nintendo Giga Leak? I haven't seen it. Chuck can compose melodies in either end. Did Ric Flair hold on too long? Yes, he should have retired way before he did. Way before. But he needed money. He was notoriously bad with his money. And so instead of making sure that he would be able to live comfortably in his old age, he's still out there peddling himself because he didn't take care of his money. Do you like Starship Troopers? I liked the book and I liked the movie. I did not like any of the sequels or the CGI stuff they did. I saw Neverending Story as a child. It was very dark for a kid's movie. Well, The Dark Crystal was pretty dark too, but it didn't have as much going on as the Neverending Story did. The Neverending Story kept things moving, and the Dark Crystal had a lot of downtime to it. To me, it was just a boring movie. I've even watched it as an adult, and I'm just sitting there waiting for the plot to move on, waiting for the Skeksis to get their comeuppance, you know? And it just drags, and it drags, and it drags. The Giggle Leak is not... I didn't say it was a movie. I said I haven't seen it. In other words, I haven't heard the story. I haven't read it. I haven't seen the story. I have not clicked on a link about it. You're leaping to conclusions there, comment guy. How do you read stories on the internet? You read them with your eyeballs. I have not seen it. Yo, 7th, I need to make a Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends movie with Firestar and Iceman. Ain't gonna happen. I could see them maybe doing like a Disney Plus live action series of it, but as kind of a retro thing, but I don't think they'd ever make it into a movie. I remember watching that on Saturday mornings, though. It was the Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends Incredible Hulk Action Hour. I remember that very well. The thing I liked about Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends was, you know, they had a lot of guest stars on there. Like the Fantastic Four were on there one time, and Doctor Doom, and just a lot of different characters from different comics would show up on there, and I thought that was really cool. You never knew who was going to be the guest star. Detective Pikachu or Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic the Hedgehog. I couldn't give less of a shit about Pokemon stuff. And yes, I have seen Detective Pikachu. I didn't like it at all. Did you know that Xbox Milgrow got his YouTube account erased after YouTube got tired of his... Yeah, I heard about that. Do. A do 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 be do. Okay. I will not mention the terrible sequels of the Neverending Story, especially the third one. Oh God, the third one. That's the one with Jack Black in it, isn't it? Oh my God, that movie sucked. I mean, Neverending Story 2 had a couple of cool moments in it, but for the most part, it was just bad. It was just bad. And plus, the kid that played Bastion in it was the same kid that was on Sequest, that TV show, and he ended up committing suicide. There's rumors of Sony making a Spidey multiverse flick with all three... Yeah, I've heard about it. I've also heard that Tobey Maguire... Somebody mentioned that Tobey Maguire had been confirmed for Doctor Strange. So we'll see. I did pre-order Cyberpunk for PS4, but then I canceled it when they announced that they were going to have a specific PS5 version made. So when Cyberpunk comes out, I'm going to get it for 8th on PC, and then I'm going to wait till 2021 when the PS5 version comes out. Thoughts on Eric Andre? I've seen a couple of things from him that's funny, but, you know. If you could, would you be able to raise your sub count to 1 million? Are you kidding? Well, I would like to be somewhere in the 100 to 200,000 range. I don't care about having 1 million subs. You know, I'd be happy with 100 or 200K and just be, you know, quasi popular instead of like through the roof popular. Did you see all the mad stuff Kid Smooth did, like his reaction against Domino? No. No, I did not. I don't watch Kid Smooth. Don't watch him. Xbox Series X or PS5? I pre-ordered the PS5. I did not pre-order the Series X. I thought the Cyberpunk 2077 PS4 version would get a free up. It was going to get some of the upgrade, but not all of the upgrade. There's going to be features the PS5 version has that the PS4, even after upgraded, won't have. At least according to the last article I read. I'm surprised nobody's asked me about the Mass Effect trilogy announcement that happened today. I am looking forward to that. I'm wondering what kind of graphic enhancements it could possibly have. Magic powers. Wow, that fart made my camera go out of focus. Yes, I think the naming convention for Xbox consoles is very confusing for a lot of people. Not for me, but for people that aren't as versed in gaming, I could see how that could cause a lot of confusion. Welcome back, sir. Haven't seen you in a while. That's because you didn't follow me to Twitch. Opinion on Keanu Reeves and Cyberpunk. Neo from the Matrix. Yes, I know. I don't know. Depends on how they use him. All depends on how they use him. Do you know that right now the most popular Netflix movie is a suspense movie with Keanu Reeves in it called Knock Knock that was actually made like 5 or 6 years ago, directed by Eli Roth. And it's a remake of an old movie from the 70s. And, no one gave a crap about it when it came out on the theater. And now that it's hit Netflix, it's like everyone is discovering this, this hidden gem Keanu Reeves movie, and they're going nuts for it. Yes, I've been streaming on Twitch Anonymous since around June. I posted a video saying the 7thCast was moving to Twitch, and only about 20 of you actually followed me over there. I mean, I had over 100 people follow me, but every Saturday only 20 people would show up to watch. Well, it was number 1/8. Maybe it's not now, but I heard rumors they're trying to bring back LucasArts. Do you think that's true? I don't know why they would. I don't know why they would. I mean, I had a soft spot for LucasArts, but the genre that they were known for, the point-and-click adventures, aren't exactly super popular these days. Not exactly a super popular genre in this day and age. I mean, I know the Deponia series has like a very small cult following, but that's really about it. Yeah. Indeed. I haven't played War of Mine. That's not one that I've indulged in yet. Nope. Who remembers one of my previous 7th intro tracks? Not the one that me and Jeff modernized, but like one of the really old ones. The ones that had the intro that Hellhound 30X made for me. Anyone remember that one? If you remember it, that was actually a demo track from my band. It's an instrumental that was called 7th's Theme, but it was written when I was still with the band. I'm going to see if I can get it to play on here. It's only like a minute and a half long. Hold on just a second. Let me see if I can get it to play. What'd y'all think of that? Hey, Nancy, how's it going? Well, that's an old track. That track was made in 1997. That was made using the original version of Magic's Music Maker on Windows 95. And it was made using a Boss digital foot pedal, and it was one of those ones that was about this big, and it had a wah pedal on it, and then it had a little computer setup where you could program all your codes and set preferences and stuff with two little pedals underneath it. And it was like about this big, and what I would do is I would plug my guitar into that foot pedal, and then from the output of that foot pedal, the guitar cable would go to a connector that would change it to a regular headphone connector, and I would plug that into the microphone input on the PC, and Magic Music Maker would pick it up, and I'd record it directly into Magic Music Maker. So that made it challenging because when I was playing it, it wasn't outputting to the amp. So all I'm hearing is an unplugged electric guitar, and I'm not able to hear it as I'm recording it into Magic's. So I had to go back and listen to it after I recorded it to see how it sounded with the distortion and everything, which was weird. But that's how that was made. And that's why the quality of that is nowhere near as good as the new song, because the new song is, much better, newer software with better plugins and all that kind of stuff. Magic Music Maker way back then was very basic. Anyway, we're down to 30 minutes left. 30 minutes left, and we're $32 short of the $50 extension goal. So it looks like my first trip back to YouTube for the 7thCast, we're not going to make the donation goals. Not surprised. Not surprised. Any thoughts about the Highlander movie? And no, there are no sequels. I like the original Highlander a lot. All of the sequels are terrible. Are you familiar with Danganronpa? Yeah, I have a couple of them on the Vita. Did you get the Polymega yet, or it still hasn't shipped yet? It's supposed to ship next week. Meanwhile, they're not talking about it on their website, their Facebook, their Twitter, nothing. So I don't know. This stream turned out to be interesting. Ever going to do this again sometime? Well, I do the 7thCast every Saturday, comment guy. I've been doing the 7thCast every Saturday for years. I mean, I miss a Saturday here and there, depending on real life stuff that interrupts me, but it's scheduled to happen every Saturday from 6 to 9 Central, and then if I hit certain donation goals, it can run longer than that. I was loving it, then he flips to Twitch, then it comes back. Fatigue. Sorry, Jeff. I was told to do it. My channel management company told me to do it because they said that the 7thCast was causing my regular videos to not get any views somehow. And they told me to move it to Twitch. So I did, and that cut my 7thCast audience in half. And the half that did stick with me were always complaining about having to use Twitch because they didn't like Twitch. So I've moved it back. And if it ruins the views on my actual videos, so be it. At least I'll still have people to talk to on the weekends, you know? Shit. 7th, I know you're no Dr. Phil, but what should parents do about kids who disobey them? Like my older sister always threatens to take away stuff from her kid, but she never follows through. She needs to follow through. I was never a spanker. I did not spank 8th. If he didn't do what he was supposed to be doing, he got something that mattered to him taken away for a while, and that's how it worked. And for the most part, 8th has stayed out of trouble. Months of no 7th. Sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry. I was just doing what I was told was best for the channel, and it didn't work at all. If anything, my views went down, not up. We were just talking about Eddie Van Halen earlier, Cringe. You kind of missed it. Thanks for stopping by, though. Thanks for watching. You just happened to come along in the last half hour of the show. I like the new intro better, but that's just me. I know. The new intro is better. The new intro was actually recorded and mixed by J.A. Allen here. That intro, the old intro, was something that I, cooked up in the living room of my apartment, in 1997. So I actually wrote it in high school. And then I never did try to record it until 1997, 4 years later. Magic powers. 7th, is it true Pizza Hut pizza used to taste differently? I remember loving it. It doesn't taste any different to me. I've been eating it for, since I was a little kid. Tastes about the same to me as it ever did. In fact, for a couple of months in 1993, I worked there as a chef. From 50 plus viewers to mid 20s. I thought it would go up, but it went down. Well, there was a bunch of people in here at one point tonight. I can't see how many are in it right now, but we hit a fairly high number earlier in the night, and I can tell you right now that there's way more people in here posting comments than there were ever on Twitch. I can't really see Let me see if I can see. Yeah, at one point we had over 50 concurrent viewers. At one point. At one point we had over 50 viewers. But not as of right now. So we did go over 50 at one point, but now we're not. $28 is still better than how I was doing on Twitch, though. Really, the only thing I really like about Domino's Pizza is their cinnamon sticks. I like their cinnamon breadsticks with the vanilla dipping sauce. That's about it. I mean, it's okay, but I prefer Pizza Hut. And I don't like Papa John's at all. Without the garlic dipping sauce, there's no point. How's it going, 7th? It's going all right. Lil V772. Thanks for joining us. We only have 24 minutes left. We're still $32 short of extending it by an hour. Yeah, I pre-ordered a PS5. Didn't pre-order a Series X. Solid Rev is the best ranter on YouTube. He should make more videos. His yelling and screaming is legend. And Solid Rev's a good dude. Known him for a long time. Not personally, but over YouTube. Many, many years. Many, many years. 7th, what do you think could have been improved in the legendary MonsterVerse films? Kong, Godzilla, etc. I like them the way they are. I mean, the first Godzilla didn't have near enough Godzilla in it. But otherwise, I liked them a lot. My biggest complaint with Godzilla King of the Monsters is that 90% of it takes place at nighttime. I can't stand that crap. I mean, I realize they do that so to lower their budget because it's easier to do CG at nighttime. There's less light sources to have to worry about. But shit, man. It gets kind of repetitive when all the fights are taking place at nighttime. Give us some bright daylight shots, for crying out loud. If you've got the time, would you do a magic power joke like Terrence and Phillip? I don't really remember the Terrence and Phillip magic power jokes you're talking about. Black Baron's rants. Yeah, it's crazy that a guy who accused me of being a KKK member, whom I totally destroyed in a video, back and forth video battle, is now, basically a jobber on AEW wrestling. But it's cool, I'm happy for him. But shit, small world. Oh, that one will leave a mark. Oh, not in my shorts, on my ass. Oh, that hurt. That one was painful. But yeah, I was talking to one of my coworkers about it on Teams chat yesterday, that I'm starting to get a lot of pain in my knuckles, and arthritis runs in my family. And we were talking about my speed with fixing issues, and he was talking about being a friendly competition, who can close these tickets the fastest and that kind of stuff. And I was like, my speed demon days are numbered, because the worse this gets, the slower I'm going to be typing. And I said, it affects everything. It's going to affect my guitar playing. It's going to affect my enjoyment of video games. It's going to affect everything. And I made the comment to him. I said, but that's what life is. I said, you spend your best years learning about all the things that you love the most, and then you spend what's left slowly having all those things taken away till nothing's left. It is what it is. That's just how life goes. So enjoy it while you can do it. Well, I say jobber because at least the last time I checked on his record, I don't watch AEW regularly, but the last time I checked his record, he was like 0 for 3. He had wrestled 3 matches and lost all 3 of them. So, to me, if you're not getting any wins, then you're basically enhancement talent to make the other people look good. In other words, a jobber. So I'm waiting for him to post some wins. I mean, he may have posted some wins and I just don't know about it yet. I don't know. I mean, either way, managing to get onto AEW is an accomplishment one way or the other. Hey, 7th, why did Microsoft cancel my Xbox Series X pre-order? Probably because whoever you pre-ordered it... Well, it depends on who you pre-ordered it from. I'll give you an example. If you pre-ordered it from Walmart, anytime you pre-order something from Walmart, they will regularly recharge your account as an authorization charge before the release date to verify that the account has that kind of money in it. So if you pre-ordered it and you put it on, for example, your debit card as the form of payment, and you went out today and bought groceries, and that dropped your account balance below $500, and Walmart sends an authorization charge to confirm that your account has $500 in it, and it doesn't, they will cancel the pre-order. Amazon doesn't do that, but Walmart does it. I'm not sure if GameStop does it. Best Buy does it. So it all depends on where you pre-ordered. Like, I have had to keep the enough money in my account to cover both the PS5 and the Polymega and all of its expansions, because I ordered the Polymega from Walmart and I ordered the PS5 from Target, and both of them will repeatedly do an authorization charge like once a week, once a month, whatever, to your account to make sure there's money in that account to cover it. So if you were not keeping your balance at a minimum to cover the cost of that Series X when they did one of those authorization charges, you're pre-order toast. Do you think Black Bond will like making gaming videos again when the new consoles arrive? I doubt it. I doubt it. Very true comment, guy. Xbox's naming conventions for their consoles don't make any sense. So far, do you like PlayStation or Xbox? Well, so far, PlayStation, because it has actual new first-party exclusives. Microsoft don't have any to show for the Xbox Series X launch, except for maybe Forza. And I got news for you. There's a very good chance that a lot of these studios that they're buying up, everyone thinks that they're going to have these great cinematic experiences like Sony puts out. But don't be surprised if a lot of them end up being games as a service games. Just don't be surprised if it happens. And plus, look at what's going on with third-party games. You've got games that... when the Xbox stats were announced, these guys were saying 4K 120 frames per second, and you've still got third-party games coming out for the Series X that are running 4K 30. So, Xbox Series X is great for someone who wants to play games but not pay for them. That can afford $14.99 a month but can't afford $70 to buy a game. That's what the Series X will be good for. We've got 15 minutes left, folks. 15 minutes. So if someone doesn't save us with a $32 donation, 15 minutes is all you're going to get for the rest of the night. I'm flagging, I'm snitching. Oh, Omega Loser. Yeah, Omega Loser came back recently, but I don't know, how seriously he's taking it. He certainly hasn't posted any new songs lately, but he did post a couple of videos. I'm not sure how long he's going to stick around because last I checked, they weren't getting heavily viewed. Omega Loser or El Presidor, who was better at trolling? Well, I mean, Omega Loser was certainly creative with it because he was doing music videos. But as far as like really pissing people off, I think El Presidor had the edge there. El Presidor could make people furious just by doing this in front of the camera. Puppets dancing on strings, He could put minimum effort into it and just make people absolutely furious. But of course now he's kind of like lost his mind and makes videos about his cats and driving down the road yelling in gibberish. So I mean, Yeah, I'd heard about that. I'd heard about his brother. Sorry to hear that. Good evening, Biggin. Long time no see. What do you think of the Vice President-elect Kamala Harris? I don't agree with a lot of her policies, but it is a historic accomplishment. That's about all I'll say because, as you know, I don't talk politics on this stream. Next question. I don't think El Presidor has it in him anymore to start another console war. All of his troll vids are on other topics nowadays and are muted compared to what they were before. Agreed. I think he just got bored with it. I just think he really got bored with it. There's only so much you can do when it comes to console war trolling. And so, when it wasn't fun for him anymore, and he was getting paid to do Call of Duty commentaries, that was all she wrote. And then he stopped doing Call of Duty commentaries when he stopped making good money on it. Seventh, what sucks about having the 7thCast on YouTube is that you have to be careful of what you say now. Okay. I haven't checked on Black Bond for a few years. What's he up to now? He still makes videos. He's preparing for the next Corporate Slave Awards. And this one's supposed to be for Corporate Slave of the Generation. I have not been asked to participate as of yet. I've only ever done it once, and that was last year. But he hasn't asked me to participate in that this year. No, I'm not surprised El Presidor is still around because he's a guy that likes the attention, so that doesn't surprise me at all. No, Ultra Steel, I talked about pretty much the same stuff I always talk about on Twitch. I had to be careful about my language just like I have to be careful on here, although I did kind of forget about it tonight. And actually, Twitch, in some ways, is even more of a pain in the butt than YouTube because their moderators will get you for just about anything, especially if you say anything that doesn't agree with their politics. And their moderators are almost 100% SJWs. Which is another reason why I was like, don't want to get into politics that much. I'm not a Democrat or a Republican. I did not vote. I follow George Carlin's philosophy. If you vote, you have no right to complain. So I stayed, I did not, I didn't even register to vote. I have no interest in it because it's just cyclical. Biden's going to win this time, and Biden is either going to cower to the far left influence on his party and start implementing a bunch of stuff that's going to piss people off, or he's going to be Amendment 25 out of there. Kamala's going to take his place, or Kamala, however it's pronounced, I don't remember. But Vice President Harris is going to take his place if he gets Amendment 25 out, and then she's going to implement a bunch of stuff that'll piss people off. There'll be a huge backlash, and then in 4 years you'll have another Republican that's a maverick outsider, blah blah blah, and a cult of personality will build up around him, and you may end up with another insane Republican in another 4 years, and the whole cycle will repeat itself, because that's what everything is degenerated into. And so I don't care. I don't care. There has not been a person worthy of my vote since I was old enough to vote. Period. And so I have never voted for president from the time I was old enough to do so, because there hasn't been a single candidate from either party that has impressed me enough or motivated me enough to actually register and vote. None. That goes from Bush Sr. to Bush Jr. to Clinton to Obama to Trump, all of them. None of them have impressed me, and so I have stayed my butt home. That being said, I don't like talking about politics. Moving on. We've got 8 minutes left. 8 minutes, unless some kind soul wants to send $32. The definitive version of all your favorite games. Now, Trump's an insane narcissist and Biden is a walking corpse. I didn't see a point in voting for either one of them. I wanted left out of that crap. Speaking of a movie that was referenced earlier, anybody remember that movie, that horror movie Dead Silence, about the ghost of a ventriloquist? Remember the scene where she was manipulating a corpse and using it as a ventriloquist dummy? That's what I think of when I think of Biden. He's a puppet. Pointless. Absolutely pointless. And the same goes for Trump. Neither of them deserved my vote. Neither of them were worthy of my vote, and so I did not vote. Got a teenager issue, BBL. BBL. Big Beautiful Ladies? I feel so bad now. 7th, what's your favorite heavy metal band? Well, it depends on the genre of metal. You got hair metal, and you got death metal, and you got thrash, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, of course, Metallica's up there. As far as like the classic hair metal sound right now, the one that I listen to the one I listen to the most is actually a band from overseas. I think they're from Sweden. They're called Hardcore Superstar. And I love the hell out of Hardcore Superstar. I think they're kick-ass. If you've never listened to Hardcore Superstar, you should check them out. There's a song that's like just, classic hard rock anthem. It's called "You Can't Kill My Rock and Roll." Kick-ass song. And then they do a song that I think is called "Against the Law" or something like that. That one's really good too. I'd play some for you, but of course that would get me DMCA'd, so I can't. Yeah, Ultra Steel, just look up the song "You Can't Kill My Rock and Roll." That'll get the job done for you. In fact, now I kind of want to listen to them. I'll listen to them after the 7thCast is over, since we've got 5 minutes left and $32 short. Seventh, when all this is over and a vaccine comes, are you going to go to the beach? No, because the minute I laid down, Greenpeace would try to roll me back in the water, so no. Plus, all the beaches in Texas suck unless you go down close to the border. And I'm a fat white guy. I'm not going close down to the border. They're going to think I'm a rich American and somebody's going to grab me and try to hold me hostage for money that I don't have. I stay away from the border, guys. I stay away from the border. Not safe. Crime rate down there is astronomical. You can talk about the wall all you want. Texas border with Mexico, not a good place to be. Why did Green Goblin look like a Power Ranger villain from the movie? Because they had to have a reason why he would be so formidable. And so instead of just having a guy flying around in a Halloween costume with a rubber mask, they had to put him in an exoskeleton power suit military thing. That being said, I loved Willem Dafoe's performance. It's great. In case I can't type this in time, this streaming session was fun and interesting. Bye-bye to you there, Seventh, and your family. All right, Comic Guy, thanks for coming. Thank you, Ultra Steel. Appreciate it. We got 3 minutes left. Do you play chess? I played chess way back in the day. I never was spectacular at it, but I still remember how to play it. I was more of a poker guy. I played a lot of poker. And then for a couple of years, I played a lot of Magic the Gathering. I didn't know you live in Texas. Well, I was in North Carolina. I moved to Texas in January of 2017. So I've been here almost 4 years. You're a little bit behind the times there, Lil. I've been getting addicted to chess recently. Such a simple but strategic game. It can be fun. It can be fun. I just never got obsessed with it like some of my friends did. Like I had one friend who he had two passions at that time, and that was chess and billiards. And he could kick your ass 6 ways to Sunday in both. He knew every damn strategy. And when it came to billiards, he could do all those masse trick shots and all that stuff. It was impressive to watch. I remember he had a membership at the Chattanooga Billiards Club, and we'd drive down there, which it was a really nice club. I don't know what it's like now, but it was really nice at the time. We'd drive down there and play billiards. And I'd sit there and watch him hustle people, and he'd walk out with all their money. It was something else. He was really good. Which was doubly impressive since it was the billiard club. You'd think that people had seen him in there enough to know that he was really good, so not to fall for it. But they'd fall for it, and he'd walk out with their money. Not supposed to happen in the billiards club, but it did. Well, it's 9 o'clock. We are $32 short of the 10 o'clock goal, so this is where I'm going to have to say goodbye to everybody. I appreciate everyone coming back and making this such an interesting podcast. We had lots of comments tonight, which is what I've been missing. And so do be thinking about everything that you want to ask me next week. Write them all down so you've got them ready. And, well, Jacoby, man, sorry about that. We're $32 short. You know it runs from 6 to 9. So have your questions ready and hit me up next week. Same 7th time, same 7th channel. Be sweet, y'all.